I want to start out by saving you some money, and I'm going to help you save money by teaching you about academic education pricing. So many software companies and computer companies offer education academic pricing, and if you just go and search for at Google or wherever something like Microsoft Academic Store, or you could even search for like Apple Academic Store or Adobe Education Store or Dell Education Store or academic pricing, anything like that, you'll come to links like Official Apple Store for Education, or Adobe Education Store, or Dell University Student Discounts. So by going to places like that, so here's for Microsoft, like Microsoft Store EDU Portal. And the EDU portal is one of the many links here where you could go to see if you could get the software that you want to purchase from Microsoft, like Microsoft Office, for less than you would pay retail. Now you might be asking yourself, what exactly qualifies as a student? Well, you're here to learn, aren't you? That makes you a student. The main touchstone that they're looking at when you're buying academic education pricing, things that academic education pricing is they're looking to make sure that you're not. There's a couple of levels, but one of the levels is they're looking to make sure that you are not using whatever you purchased for commercial purposes. So if you're going to go out and you're going to use this stuff to start a business, then that would be a commercial purpose, and you would need to buy their full-fledged commercial product. But the next level that they might look at is, are you actually a student at an accredited school? And so they might ask you to enter your school name or something like that, and then try to find out, okay, hey, yeah, you qualify. You might need to enter your school email. But anyhow, it's absolutely worth giving it a try to search for whatever it is you want to buy, software or computer hardware, and see if whoever you want to buy it from has an academic store or education pricing, and then just go in and take a look at the links. So for example, here, if you want to buy Microsoft Office, you could get Office 2013 for Windows for $139, or you could get Office 2011 for the Mac also for $139. Now we're going to learn in a minute here what's the difference between Office 2013, Office 2011, and Office 365, and they're selling all that, but we're going to learn that in the next video. So just a couple of different pages here. Here's a page that came up, Office and Education. And again, these were all pages I got from just Googling that. And then here's another one. You might search for the Microsoft Home Use Program and enter your work email, or you might need to talk to whoever's in charge of IT if you are at a school to see if they have something like the Home Use Program for employees of schools, which they do, in which case you could get Office for $9.95. And then, of course, the last resource I'll point out is that Costco always has really amazing pricing on software and hardware. So they have really great pricing here, and you could check that out too when you're looking to purchase any software or hardware. I also, just one more anecdote, really recommend Costco. Product plug. I wish they were paying me for it, but I recommend Costco for getting hardware, getting computers, because they have a 3-month return policy, and they're really good about their returns. So if you purchase a computer and it doesn't work out for you, they really readily accept returns back. So those are my thoughts on saving some money when you're buying software, and really it's super great to know about academic pricing for computer companies, because a lot of computer companies offer that. The next real essential thing that's important for you to know is which version of Microsoft Office are you using and what versions are out there. I find that people have confusion about the different versions of Office, and I think rightly so. I think Microsoft doesn't do a really good job of sort of branding and positioning. So anyhow, go to Google and search for MS Office versions, and then you could click on a Wikipedia link for Microsoft Office, and once you get there, at the very top here, you'll find this link right here, versions available. And so I'm at the Wikipedia page for Microsoft Office, and I click on versions available. And this little table here really kind of tells you the current versions that are available. And so here we have versions for Windows, and here we have versions for OS X, which is, of course, the Mac. And the latest version for Windows is 2013. The latest version for the Mac of Microsoft Office is 2011. So, this really sort of reinforces the fact and the history. It's a reflection of the history between Microsoft and Apple. They've always had a rivalry. And if you're an Apple user, a Mac user, you're really like a second-class citizen to Microsoft. And so, 2011, that's fine for Mac users. You guys could use the old stuff. We're not going to worry too much about it. Anyhow, I'll talk more about that through this course. I'll mention that. But so here are the latest versions: Windows 2013, OS 10 2011. In addition, you'll also notice here, when is this going to end? So 2013 is predicted to end for whatever reason. April 10th, 2018 is when they're going to discontinue that one. This one's going to go through here on the Mac January 12th, 2016. So that's just kind of good to know. And then you've got this OS 10 has 2011, Windows has 2013, but then you also have this thing called Office 365. Well, what's the difference? The difference is Office 365 is running in the cloud. It's more of a cloud-based subscription service, whereas these versions right here are software. It's software that you would run actually on your computer. You download it and run it on your computer. And so they're also these are two different methods of paying for the same thing. Office 365 is going to charge you on a monthly basis anywhere from like $2 a month, if you're like a student and you buy 4 years up front, or $10 a month, right? Maybe if you're just an individual. And Microsoft Office Suite, whether you get it for Windows 2013 or for the Mac 2011, probably the Mac since you're watching this training for the Mac, you're going to pay $140 maybe, or $200 for Microsoft Office, and that'll be a one-time fee, and you'll never have to pay that again. So that's Office 365. You can see what Office 365 looks like when you come in here, and if I just click on Microsoft Word, you can see I'm running this in my browser, and it's bringing up Word Online, and here it is in my browser. So it's really sort of Microsoft's answer to what Google has started to do with Google Drive. And I will talk more about that briefly in the next video. So there's this thing called Google Drive, and if you go to Google, maybe you do or do not know about this, but if you go to Google and click on these little square icons up here, you have Google Drive right there. And inside Google Drive, you have this new button where you could create a new folder, you could upload files, you could upload a whole folder, or you could create a Google Doc, which is a word processing document like Microsoft Word, or a spreadsheet, or a presentation, like a PowerPoint presentation. Plus, there's a lot more that you could do in here, plus even more if you click on that. And so Google Drive is really a place where if you want to create, word processing documents or spreadsheets, you could come in here and you could just click it. And now this is giving me a word processing environment. Well, this is exactly what is going on with Microsoft Office 365. So Google and Microsoft, this is actually Microsoft's competitive answer to what Google started doing, because Google really sort of broke headwaters on this one, if that's even a phrase. And between the two of them, Office 365, right, and Google Drive, without a doubt, hands down, I fully recommend Google Drive. Now, that isn't to say that this training is going to be a waste, because there's all kinds of things that you could do in Microsoft Word, right? Microsoft Word right here on the desktop. There's all kinds of things you could do in Microsoft Word that you can't do in Google Drive, or that you can't even do here in Word Online Office 365. So I'm just trying to give you a little bit of a feel of the space here for word processing. And we're going to be learning word processing skills. So whether or not you're using Google Drive, or Office 365, Word Online, or Microsoft Office 2011, Microsoft Word 2011. So if I go to Word here and choose About Word, I see I'm using Word for the Mac 2011, right? Regardless of which word processing software environment you're using, I'm going to teach you the skills to be able to use any of these word processing environments. In addition, you will understand the differences kind of between the three main environments here, whether it's on the desktop, Word 2011, or on the cloud, Word Online, or Google Drive. And if you are going to do online stuff, again, what I just sort of want to reiterate and convey to you is that between Google and Microsoft, Google has a vastly superior product. So I don't recommend Word Online. I don't recommend Office 365 Online. I do strongly recommend Google Drive and Google word processing. There's a lot of great features in here about sharing files and having availability of files from anywhere, since it's stored remotely on Google servers, aka e.g. in the cloud, right? There's a lot of great features about that. There are also some privacy concerns, which are an issue for some people, about having all your documents out there. So if you're going to do cloud-based, and cloud is just any server that's out there, not on your computer. If you're going to use some sort of word processing that is out in the ether, I'm using a few phrases here I wish I was trying to stay away from. But if you're going to do anything like any of the online word processing between Office 365 and Google, please use Google. That's going to be in your best interest. And I know that's a really strong opinion, but it's informed sort of just by my experience with this stuff over many years, and also by the fact that Google is really sort of the major leagues for people who are in the software industry and for people who are into computers, and they are the very best team that is out there, and they have the very best players working for them, and they're putting out the very best products. And so Google has the best stuff right now. Now, all of that said, the desktop version has advantages, a lot of advantages, which you are not able to find in the online version, right? So the online version is good for some stuff, and then the desktop version is good for other things. And as we go through this course, we're going to learn more about the advantages of each environment and how you could use Microsoft Word on the desktop to do a lot of stuff, and then how you will use Google Drive to create word processing documents that are stored on the cloud, which means they're stored on Google servers. You'll use Google Drive to do word processing for other situations. So that's what we're going to learn in this course. I hope it's clear. Just a little bit of a review here. You can stop this video if you've got it, but a little bit of a review. There's three kind of main things that are out there. You got Microsoft Word, which is part of Microsoft Office, which is a suite of software. Office includes Word, Excel, Access, PowerPoint, but Microsoft Word is something that you run on your computer. So that software is actually stored on your hard drive or your solid state drive, and you run it on your computer. And it has a lot of features that you can't get from Office 365 or Google Drive, right? Which run these run on the cloud. And the cloud means they're either running on Microsoft servers, not stored on your computer, or on Google servers if it's Google that you're working with. And there's advantages to using using a cloud-based word processing software, which we'll learn about. Here's another really important thing for you to know about. When you're watching videos, there are often settings to videos down here which you could use and play with to change your experience with the videos. So right here is one of my videos for an Excel training, and this is Excel on the Mac. And when you're watching this video, one of the choices you have down here, one of the choices you have down here, and I'll see if I could hit it. Well, every time I hit it, it switches back and forth, is to go from high definition to not high definition. And when this is on, your video is going to be more clear, but your computer, it's going to be streaming more data to your computer. And so if you have a really fast internet connection, make it high def, and it won't slow your video down. You won't have any hiccups or problems with streaming the video, and the video is going to be much more clear. You also have this right here, which makes the video full screen. And so that's really good to know about, because, oh, I can't quite see what's going on the screen. Boom, make a big screen and you'll be able to see. So between those two settings, they could really help you when you're watching these videos. And then if you're having trouble downloading the video, if it's going slow, you could drop the high definition, so turn that off, and that's going to mean that your video that's coming to you isn't as good of a quality, it's not as clear, but there's less data coming, so that less data means you'll be streaming the video more quickly. There's also those settings, they also have settings like this on YouTube, and I think that's really good to take a look at. So I'm just going to go to my channel here, and here's a resource for you to check out, youtube.com/user/Todd McLeod. And when you go in here, you could hit search, and you could just search for, like, I want to learn about Word, right? And so here come up all these different Word videos that I've done. And if you had one specifically that you're interested in finding, you might look for merge, right? Like mail merge, and see if you could find, a video for doing mail merge if that's what you're looking for. But when you watch videos in YouTube, the point what I'm trying to make here is you also have settings down here. So subtitles is something you could do. You could go theater mode or full screen, and then you have all these settings here. And one of the neat things of these settings is that you can go to speed. And so let's say I'm watching this video, and you kind of feel like I'm talking way too fast. And I like talking fast just to keep your attention, and also because, you know what, if you need to rewatch it, you could just rewind it and rewatch it, and I'd rather have things clipping along at a quick pace. But if I'm going too fast, you could go, at least on the YouTube videos, you can't do this on Udemy, and you could slow me down. Or you could speed me up. You want to watch this quickly and just sort of get a cursory overview of what I'm talking about, and then maybe slow it down when you get to what I'm interested in. Watch me at 1.5 times my normal speed, right? And again, you can see the quality there. I'm at lower quality. If I wanted to, I could crank that up to high definition, right? So that setting is there. But here I am set to 1.5 times my normal speed. And there's different choices I have. If I click the drop down here, I can choose different types of headers. It could look like that, it could look like this. I'm going to go with it. And that certainly takes a little getting used to, but I do find it useful if I'm watching material where I already sort of am somewhat familiar with the concepts, and I'm just kind of like getting an update or a refresh, or if the person isn't talking quick enough for me, I'll sometimes crank up the speed. So that's kind of cool to know about, and that's adjusting your video settings so that you can have the best experience possible when watching these videos. The next thing I want to point out is, where do you download files that are used in the course? And so every time I use a file in one of the videos, you'll be able to come over here, and this might change by the time you see this because websites are notorious for changing the way they look and what their interface is like, but you'll find some place in this area where you're watching the video and where you're watching a lecture. You'll find some place where there's a download link to download the files. So right now that place is located right here. And in Udemy, it's been here for quite a while, and you could come over here and you could click on that, and then you could say, okay, hey, I want to download this file. And notice that there are two downloads here. One is download this lecture, and that's an MP4, which is a video format. So that's the actual video if you want to download the video. But here's the file I've used. And you'll find files like this associated. Anytime I use a file in a video, you'll find that file associated over here with the video, so that you could download that to your computer and then open it up and play with it, so you could get that hands-on experience, which really sort of cements and reinforces learning. So I just want to take a moment and show you that you can download the video files for any of the files I use in the videos, and use them yourself while you're going through these trainings.